Welcome to Small Town Gen X. I'm Kate DeCoste.
And I'm Lana Larson.
And Lana, what are we today?
Excited?
I think we are.
I think so too.
I am actually very excited about this one. I did research.
Right. Oh yeah, you did do some research.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's like when it's stuff like this, it's like super fun. It's not like it was
boring research.
No, it was not. No. So we're going to talk about one of our very favorite movies.
Yes.
It's not even like our favorite 80s movies. It's like
an all-time favorite.
Yes.
What's happening, hot stuff?
16 Candles.
Yes.
Written and directed by John Hughes. And it debuted May 4th, 1984.
40 years.
40 years.
I did not know the May 4th part.
I did not
know that it was on May 4th.
I did not either. And it was funny, and the reason I knew is someone posted, because at first, it was all because it was May 4th. Mm-hmm. So everyone's doing May the 4th be with you. So it was all of that. And then all of a sudden I was scrolling something.
And you see 16 Candles.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, well, that's a perfect. Let's talk about it. 40. So
I was 6.
Yeah, it was fine.
About 5. I guess. I wasn't quite 6 yet.
Not quite 6 yet.
You weren't quite.
I guess I wasn't quite 5. I was 4, almost 5.
And I'm sure I didn't watch it either when it first came out.
Right. Right.
But yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those that were good movie.
Yeah. So most people, well, you probably don't know this, but it earned $23.6 million at the box office, which I thought was a lot of money back in 1984, but I guess it's not.
It's not.
And it did not debut the number 1 spot. It was number 2.
Okay.
And I saw what the movie was that was number 1, and I had never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
You don't remember, so
yeah.
You never saw it probably. So
and I didn't write it down, so totally is out of my head. This was John Hughes' directorial debut.
Okay.
He had written Vacation.
Okay.
And I think something else, actually. I'm pretty sure, and I can't think of what it was. But he was like, I
want to direct.
Yeah,
now.
He wanted more control. He didn't like that he didn't have control over what he wrote.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you knew this. I had watched on something I was seeing. Maybe it was because of the Breakfast Club, because it wasn't when I was doing my research yesterday.
Okay.
He would write movies in a weekend.
Yes, I've heard that.
And we talked about that.
I think we did.
Because that's crazy. Every time I hear that, I think I'm like, I knew it, but I'm like, that's so crazy.
How was that possible?
How are you able to write that
right.
in a weekend?
Yeah.
But this movie launched the careers of Molly Ringwald, who will go on to star in 2 more John Hughes movies, which we know, The Breakfast Club. And Lana, do you know the other one?
Pretty in Pink.
Yes. And then also starring Anthony Michael Hall, who had already been in John Hughes' film Vacation. Mm-hmm. He went on to be in The Breakfast Club and a movie that you and I were chatting about right before we hit record.
Weird Science?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And a little fun fact, when they were filming The Breakfast Club, that's when this movie came out.
Okay.
They were in the middle of filming
when this came.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to be like, oh, I'm working on another one.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
I got one out there. Yeah. And then a couple who don't have a huge role in this movie, but I feel like it maybe helped launch their careers as well, is John and Joan Cusack.
Oh, yes.
Because they have great roles.
Right.
In this movie.
Yeah.
And everybody does, I feel like, but.
Right.
So I'll name off a few other cast members. Okay. So, of course, we have to talk about Jake Ryan.
Right.
Michael Schoflin. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these people's names. But he kind of went out of
Hollywood.
Yeah. He did one last movie in like 1991. Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, I believe is what it was called.
I think you're right. Something like
that. And I
guess I didn't even know he was in it. I mean, I don't remember
that. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
So.
And he had only done just like a handful of movies after this. And I guess when he first started his career, he was a model.
He did
like
that.
Yeah, he did like a lot of print modeling. And I don't know if it was his agent or somebody actually helped him take classes, like acting classes. And I also read that he almost didn't get this role because he was just a little too shy in the audition. So I think as a person, he's not. It makes sense to me reading some of the other things of why he left Hollywood and probably why he was totally fine leaving Hollywood. Right. Like he was like, maybe this isn't for me.
For me, yeah.
And he married like a model and they have a couple kids and he like owns like a furniture store and like builds furniture.
Yeah. I knew he was like a hermit type person that he didn't, that he was like right in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
Right.
I didn't know he built furniture, though.
Yeah. I don't know why I think it's Pennsylvania, but
I
could be totally wrong. I know that at one point, like in the early 2000s, they were thinking of, like, Molly Ringwald, I think, like, brought it up somewhere. They were thinking of doing a sequel to 16 Candles, and it was going to be, like, 32 Candles.
Okay.
Obviously, it never happened.
Right.
Then John Hughes passed away in like 2009, maybe. But can you imagine? I wonder if he would have come back. Because if he wasn't in it, I don't think that would have been a good.
No,
like
he was
the main.
Yeah,
and I feel like they would if they didn't get together.
Right.
It would be weird.
Right.
Like in my head,
it would have just.
They got married.
Right.
They dated and they got married. They went to college and then they got married. At least that's my fantasy of how that movie went. Yeah. Yeah. Beyond the cake.
Right.
So then there was also Carolyn.
Okay.
And she has an interesting first name that I hopefully am going to say correctly, but it's Haviland Morris.
Okay.
Justin Henry played Mike Baker, the little brother.
Now, has he been in anything? I mean, I don't even know if I recognize him.
I know.
If he was, because he was younger.
He was younger. And before he played Mike Baker, he was in the movie when he was like very little, Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh, okay.
And I guess like he was plucked from his, like, he lived in New York and like there was an agent like that was like his neighbor.
Yeah.
And like was like, okay, you need
I want to use him.
Yeah. And he was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh.
Yeah. He didn't win, but he still holds the record of like the youngest to
be nominated.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if he's been in anything. And like you said, I wonder if I would know it's him.
Yeah.
I have a little fun fact for you about the little sister.
Okay.
Her real name in real life is Beth Ringwald.
Oh, so Molly's sister?
Yeah. Huh. I had no clue.
I didn't either.
And now when I read that and then I was watching the movie last night, I was like,
can you kind of tell?
I can see it.
You can see it? The red hair?
The red hair, the freckles. Yeah. I could see that they could be related. And it is kind of, we talked about this on the Breakfast Club episode, but John Hughes puts family members in things.
Because Anthony Michael Hall's mom and sister were in Breakfast Club.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny how he does that. Yeah. And like I said, we've seen that how many times?
Oh, Never knew. And not known.
No. It wasn't until I was looking up the cast's names.
Right.
And I was like, wait a minute. And then I did a little
Now,
digging.
when you looked up the cast, did they have a picture of them recent or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does the sister look? Does she?
She doesn't. I don't think they look.
You don't think they look alike?
No. And now that you say that, Justin Henry does. I know that was him.
Okay.
In the photos, so maybe I would know him in a movie, but who knows?
Okay.
Paul Dooley played the dad.
Okay.
Samantha's dad, and Carlin. I don't know if it's Carlin or Carolyn Glenn played the mom.
Okay.
Brenda. And
what was the dad's name? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I just remember Brenda because she would always say, she's like, well, Brenda was so busy she couldn't do my carrots.
Yep.
She couldn't remember my birthday, so how could she remember my carrots?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know if they ever say his name. If they just say dad. I bet they.
I'm sure
somebody says
yes,
it, but I don't remember.
No, I don't either.
But a fun fact about Mom. In real life, her daughter is Mary Stuart Masterson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she went on to be in another John Hughes movie.
Okay.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
right?
All that family.
Yep.
Yeah. Then there was Blanche Baker, and she played Jenny.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry. Oh, I put Blanche Baker on my. I don't think her last name was Baker. I wonder if I put Blanche and I was typing. I don't know what her last name was.
Wait, yeah, it would have been. Oh, in real life.
Yes.
Oh,
Jenny
okay.
Baker, but I wrote Blanche,
you put Blanche
Baker.
Oh.
But I
maybe it was.
I don't know if it was, but it would be
Blanche
funny if it
Baker.
was Baker. And then
Blanche too. That's
Blanche.
That's a different name.
That's a different in the 80s. Yeah.
Yep.
I know. And then I know I'm gonna totally butcher Long Duck's name. Ged Wadabe, maybe something like that. But yeah, when we all know Long Duck Dong,
right?
I feel like I'm sure many of people when they see him,
recognize him. Reference Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Or not Breakfast Club. 16
Candles. Yes. And then we can't forget the grandparents.
Oh no.
They have like some of the best scenes
lines. Yes.
So Billy Bird, who was Dorothy Baker.
Okay.
And then Edward Andrews, who played Howard Baker.
Okay.
Carol Cook played Grandma Helen. Max Showalter played Grandpa Fred. And then we really cannot forget Zelda Rubinstein.
Oh, no, she was the pianist.
She was. She made sure that church was clean.
That she did. She brought the veil out.
She did. And then when she was walking, she was like, and then she's like,
oh, I need a drink.
So I kind of, when I was reading like who everybody was and all of that, then I kind of went down another little rabbit hole just to see like, are any of the grandparents alive or even the parents?
Okay.
Everyone has passed except Paul Dooley.
Okay.
He is still alive.
Do you remember how old he is?
He's in his 80s.
Okay.
Like maybe 83, 84 or something like that. And the first grandparent to die was Grandpa Fred, and he was in one more movie that we have kind of talked about.
Grandpa Fred or Grandpa Howard?
Oh, yes, Grandpa Howard.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you. Yes, Grandpa Howard. He was in a movie that we talked about before, Gremlins.
Okay.
Yeah. And he that was his last movie, and then he passed away.
Oh, okay.
So he passed away in like
85
or something like that, or something. Where everybody else kind of lived into their 90s or their late.
How old
80s.
Was he?
You know, I don't remember. I don't remember. But you know, when I think about it, if they were in their 90s now, because Carol Cook, who played Helen, she just died in 2023.
Okay.
And she was like 97.
Oh, okay.
So she wasn't actually, when you think about it, she wasn't really that old.
No.
In the movie as like a grandma.
Yeah.
Do you remember who Grandpa Howard was in Gremlins?
No. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah.
So, think of the bank.
The president?
Yeah. I don't know if he was the manager or the president or the owner or what, but yes, that's who. And he was wearing his suits. He did not wear a suit as Grandpa.
No, he did not.
Howard.
Well, he did wear it to the wedding.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He kept his suit from the wedding to be in the bank. That's right. That's right.
And I have another little interesting fact. Yeah. Caroline.
Yes. Carolyn. I can't
remember.
It's so funny because
I know because you just watched it, and I can picture it being both, and I don't know why.
Why? I don't either. I'm the same way.
I think it's Carolyn.
But then I don't know why I think it's Caroline. I know.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
We should watch a clip.
Yeah. She is in Gremlins too.
Number two.
Yes.
Yes, because this is a kind of with that. Okay. So in Gremlins 2, she has red hair.
Yes.
That's her natural colored hair.
Okay.
And in the movie, she's blonde, and that's a wig.
Okay.
And I figured she was wearing a wig when they cut her hair, but I didn't think it was a wig the whole time.
Right.
But it was. Right. It was a wig the whole time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I read that. So then when they are cutting her hair, I'm usually like watching the scissors.
Okay.
I started watching her head.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see
the wig
kind of go like just a little like your hair wouldn't your scalp wouldn't do this.
Right. As you're like taking your hand and moving your head.
Right. Yes. And what's so funny too, I always crack up at that scene is the scissors. I'm like, where did they find scissors those that big?
That big.
It looks like ribbon cutting, like ceremony.
Oh, they're
scissors.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes. And no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, and I didn't mention above about another person that's kind of in that scene.
Right.
Is Jamie Gertz.
Yep.
And she's the one, and she says,
"Don't go away, Carolyn, baby."
And then she breaks her pearls.
Yes, when they're coming down the stairs. Yes,
kiss the microphone there.
They're wearing like his mom's stuff.
Yes,
so that's her. That's the mom's jewelry.
Yeah,
and they're wearing like furs and
yes, furs.
And that's when she's all like, guys, help me, I'm stuck or whatever. Yeah. And all they needed to do was open the damn door. Instead, they cut her hair.
Did Jake maybe lock the door?
I don't know. I feel like he just because he like just
kicked it. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think he does.
No. But they were drunk. They didn't know what they were drunk doing.
Because she doesn't even remember how her hair gets cut.
No.
As Farmer Ted's like, did I do that to your hair? And he's like,
she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like anything.
Yeah, possible. Be
possible.
Something.
Yeah.
Oh, such a good movie.
Such a good movie. Yeah, and like you said, the grandparents have such good lines.
Yes.
Such good lines. Like, I mean, just when we first meet their characters and Molly Ringwald, Samantha, Sam, goes up to her room. And she's kind of like up. It's almost like an attic.
It is like an attic. It's like her room is in the attic.
It is in the attic. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, shit. And she starts to walk down and they hear the creak of the stairs. Samantha. Yes. Or Sam. I think that's what it is. Because then she's all like, Samantha.
Yeah. Yes. Molly Ringwald says that.
She says,
She like mouths it. Quietly.
Samantha. Yeah. And they have like they're in their underwear basically.
Yes, basically.
Grandma's in a slip.
Yep.
Grandpa's in a shirt and
socks.
Yep. And then he have like
boxer shorts.
Yeah, but doesn't he have something on his socks? Like on it, something to keep his socks up?
Oh, yeah, I think he does.
And then she has her little stockings on.
Yes. And her water bottle or whatever that is.
That brown thing. She's all like, I brought this for you or whatever. Maybe for his back or something. Because then when she says, how have you guys been?
Yep.
They just start.
Or maybe from his hernia.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe for his hernia.
I bet you're right. It's
Could
for,
be.
Yes.
Yeah. Or his hyena.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably what that is for. Now that you say
guess
that.
I don't know if you put a hot on a hernia or not.
Or
you
cold.
Know, or
I wonder if that thing you could probably put both.
I don't know if you can put cold. I don't know what that would do.
I don't know.
I mean, all we do now is hot pads and ice packs.
And I feel like that thing could be either.
Yeah.
They could put hot water in it or cold.
I freeze it.
Yeah. Talking about her bedroom and the grandparents. So they stay there.
Okay.
There, right?
Yep.
And there's a scene. It's the scene. It's in the morning right before the wedding.
Okay.
And she's back up in her room.
Okay.
Getting ready, which I wouldn't even do because I'd be so afraid they'd come up. I'd be like, I'm getting dressed, and I'd be like, I'm going in the bathroom or something. Yep. But she's like hanging out on her bed and she's talking to her friend on the phone. And I noticed the other day last night when I was watching it, there's like, it's like Pepto or it's not Pepto, but it's one of those types of things you would use for like your stomach or not to have diarrhea or something like that. Yeah. It's sitting there and I was like,
something.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, that's for the grandparents.
Yeah.
I feel like that wasn't for her,
No.
but I just thought that was a funny little like
they put it
ad.
there. Yep.
Yeah. To have that there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a little fun fact, since we're on the subject of the grandparents, we can just keep going.
All right.
I think you're going to know what I'm going to talk about. It's a blooper in the movie.
Oh, yes, I do.
What is it?
It's Grandma. She gets in the car,
yes,
but she gets back out and she ducks down.
Yes, before the wedding.
Right before the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah, when they're leaving for the wedding.
Yes, which I always thought was funny. So they took 2 cars.
Yes.
There were 4 in one car, and then like 6 in the other. Like, why didn't they throw
split up? Right.
Even another kid?
Yeah.
Go in to the other one or another adult, because there was the little sister.
Right.
She's teeny.
And didn't they had a station wagon too? Didn't they?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. One of the kids could have been in the back at that time. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have been as funny as having all the grandparents
in one car.
Especially for the scene when after she doesn't get in the car, but then when she ducks down like she is in the car,
and they back out.
And miraculously she's in the car. Yes. And gets out, and they see Long Duck Dong.
Yes, they do. He's laying in the
yard. Yes. Yeah. And
she's afraid that he's dead.
Yeah. Howard, is he dead? Or he's dead or something. Yeah.
And then they clap.
Yes.
And she's like, Dong?
Grandpa is talking to you. You know what I noticed too? So when he's doing like...
does he fall... Okay, sorry. But does he fall out of the tree?
Well, not that tree.
Okay.
He jumps on Jake Ryan.
Okay.
He's supposedly in that tree at Jake Ryan's house.
Okay.
Because that's when he's like grabs his nuts.
Okay.
And then he beats his face.
Yep. That's right.
You beat my face.
You beat my face.
You grab my nuts.
Yep. Yep, that's right. Okay.
And when I was watching this thing last night, a little like behind the scenes of stuff, this guy was at the house, like the actual house.
Okay.
And he was showing, panning, whatever. That tree that actually is there where he's at, that tree's not there anymore.
Oh, it's not.
It was so weird. He was like, and this is where Long Duck Dong was in the yard.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no tree. There was a tree there.
Yeah.
Which is weird that you would remember that.
Right.
But it's such a
that's why I wondered.
Scene.
I was like, gosh, was he in the tree and fell? But no, that's right.
Yeah.
He was just
I don't know how he gets there.
Because
the car's in a lake.
Yeah, the car's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody must have just threw him. I mean, and how did he know the address?
How do you know to get there?
Right.
Unless he had it. Yeah, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he was able to know he dropped Sam off before he went on to the party. Because I crack up every time too. Because when he drops her off and he has his new style American Girlfriend, and then they have one of those tray like they went to a drive-in.
Yes.
Or drive-through type
whatever.
thing, or whatever.
Back in the day when they put the tray on the
window. Yeah, it's still there. Yep. And she doesn't even mention. She's just like, "Thanks, Dong," and like shuts the door. And all she's worried about is like, my whole life I've lived here. Dong's been here for like 5 minutes, and he already has a girlfriend. Yeah. But so maybe has the address in his pocket written down. I don't know. But you don't. Well, here's another thing of address. How do those guys? I mean, maybe they ask them before they put them in their trunk. But those guys that drop off the other two nerds at their house, it's like, how do you know where they live?
Yeah.
And they're like, and we could talk about the ages of some of the cast members because those guys look like they're like seniors in college.
Yeah, they look old. Yeah.
Not even freshmen in college. They look like they look super old.
Right.
And talking about that of ages, give you some see what you know.
Okay.
Or want to guess. Do you know how old Molly and Anthony were? They were actually the same age.
Okay. I guess 17.
They were actually 15.
Oh, okay.
So she was the age, basically.
She's going to turn 16.
Yeah. And they were the youngest cast members. Okay. And when they first met, they actually did not like each other, as people.
Oh.
And so to kind of get them to bond and get to know each other, John Hughes took them shopping at a record store, and they kind of bonded over music they like, and then they actually ended up dating throughout the filming.
Oh,
I didn't know that
just
either.
Through the filming?
It seemed like it was just through the filming, maybe after a little bit, because by the time they started filming The Breakfast Club, they were not dating anymore, but they remained good friends. So they were fine. There was no tension or anything during filming. Yeah. And since they were so much younger and they were filming in Chicago or some suburbs around Chicago, they were staying in a hotel there and in a suburb, not in Chicago.
Right.
So a lot of times when they had free time, they would crash bar mitzvahs and stuff at the hotel. Yeah. Kind of like how we, that banquet.
Right. That's right.
So they would do that where, everybody else, they probably went into the city.
Right.
They probably
because they were older.
Yeah, and they could. Yeah. And talking about that, do you know how long, or do you have a guess how old Long Duck Dong was, or in real life?
How old he was in the movie? Let's see. I'd say he's in his 20s.
He was
25?
in his 20s. 28. Okay. He was the oldest as of the supposed to be students. Yeah. And Jake Ryan was actually 23, 22, 23. Okay. So there was a little bit of age difference with him and his, and the love interest.
Right. 15 and 23.
But he didn't look old to me. I wasn't oh yeah. He was
no,
20.
no.
I would have believed that
he was a senior in high school.
And I also would not have thought that Long Duck Dong was 28.
No, I wouldn't have either.
No.
I wouldn't think Molly Ringwald was 15 either.
I know. I
mean, I know she's supposed to be 16, but, I would have figured she was a little
17,
older.
18, something like that. Yeah. I can see, Anthony Michael Hall. I felt like he looked like he's 12 in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 15, but he looked
He looks like he did in Vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. Only shorter hair, I think, or something. I think he had a little bit longer hair maybe. Or something. Yeah. But yeah, he looks little.
I think he looks a lot different from 16 Candles to Breakfast Club.
Yes.
You can tell
he got older.
He's
older.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely Weird Science.
Oh, yes.
You can definitely tell.
And what year?
Years.
What year was that?
Weird Science. Yeah. I feel like that might have been 85 or 86 maybe. I'm not too sure. Okay. Maybe, probably 86, because I bet if this came out in 1984, there had to have been a couple
years
between. But yeah, you can definitely, he had some kind of like
growth
spurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because when he's in the, where is he? He's and now I won't remember, but his voice cracks.
Yes.
In 16 Candles.
When it's when they're in that car.
Oh, okay, in the shop class.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Because he's all like, Jake's my boy.
Yes.
And then he's all like, he is, or whatever. And he he totally cracks. I know that last night when I was watching it, I started giggling. So I'm like, oh, there's this Peter Brady.
Yep. His voice cracking.
Yes. So I have a little fun fact that's not about the movie. It's about Anthony Michael Hall and me.
Oh, okay.
So when I was still living in New York, I went and saw a taping of The View.
Okay.
Which I guess is still on the air, I think.
It is.
This was like with the old
with
school.
Barbara?
Yeah.
Was she
like
on
Barbara
there? Okay.
and Meredith.
Oh, yes. I forgot about
it was
her.
it was like the old
Joy.
school.
I don't remember who else.
The OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of her name. Elizabeth. She was like the little blonde.
Oh, okay.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. He was actually on it. He was one of the guests.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And he was at that time he was doing The Dead Zone.
Okay.
And it was a TV show, and I think it lasted like 6 seasons, and I feel like this was maybe like the 5th season he was promoting. And when you go to these shows, they'll have like stuff for the audience. So I got like the season. I don't know. I must have got the season before. Maybe I got season 4 or something like that. But it was like the CD.
Oh, okay. Like the season, the whole box set or whatever.
Yeah,
box
set.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember like, oh, I'm going to watch this. And so I watched it on my computer when they still had the little
a CD whatever
player.
Yeah, they don't do
thingies.
that anymore, do they?
No, I don't think so. I think you can buy something that's external.
Oh, okay.
But if you really want to.
Yeah.
But
nowadays,
who watches
right,
DVDs or
right.
listens to CDs.
Right.
But yeah, and I remember watching it and I was like, oh man, because it's a show that you kind of need to watch it from the beginning.
Beginning of the first episode, season 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that year my mom got me like all the seasons leading up. I think it was for my birthday or something.
Yeah.
So I had something to watch.
Yeah.
But
did you watch your season or did you?
I don't know if
it?
I did or not. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was actually a good show. I was actually kind of sad when it was
done.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. But yeah, that's my my fun fact.
Yeah.
I didn't get to like meet him or talk, but
you saw him in person.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Farmer Ted.
Yeah. He's not a farmer. He's
a
freshman.
Right. He's yes. And that was when I saw him, that was back when you didn't really you had cell phones, but you didn't take you didn't take photos. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So cuz I feel like when I've gone back to New York and I've gone like I went to like would have been Kelly and Michael at the time.
Okay.
I remember like taking pictures like the whole time.
Yeah.
While I was,
they let you, huh?
And one they did when we went and saw Seth Meyers. No, like they were like no phones, no cameras, and they were like if we catch you, you'll be booted. And so it's like, well, I ain't gonna do that because I want to watch the taping. But yeah, so NBC was a lot more strict than ABC or. I think that's ABC. Yeah, it's ABC. Is for Michael and now it's Kelly and
weren't they CBS?
Well, they were on CBS for us, but like they were always at the ABC. And the only reason I know that is because I worked at that Starbucks across the street, and they filmed over there. Oh, so I always thought that was. I don't know how that works. How TV works.
I don't either.
But
no, I would have thought.
That would have been, CBS. Some other little tidbits.
Okay.
Fun facts. I already said that the movie was shot in like Chicago, suburbs of Chicago. Right. Nothing was in LA. Like nothing was on a sound stage in LA. They did it like they made sound stages. Like her bedroom was a sound stage.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm guessing that whole house was
probably
not in a house. But they built the sound stages like in school gyms.
Oh.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting that they didn't do any.
No, they didn't do anything in that in
Hollywood.
Right.
Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. Yeah. In the high school that we see like right at the beginning of the movie, the exterior shots where it's like that's where they're going to school. Right. That is no longer there. Yeah.
It was torn
down. Which I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, I want to know if you know this. I did not know this until I was reading the cast list.
All right.
Did you know that Caroline,
yeah,
the shower scene?
Yes.
That's not her.
Oh.
She had a body double.
Really?
It's not her boobies.
It's not her boobies.
No. No, I'm sure like they did those close-ups.
Right.
You see her face and she's all like, in the shower or whatever. But those like panned out and then like zoomed in on her breasts are
they're not her.
No. It was did I write it down? Yes, it was a actor or a body double person named Paula Elser.
Oh.
Yeah. I had no clue.
Yeah.
And the only reason, like I said, I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at the cast list and write their names down.
Right.
And I was
she
like,
was a body double.
And it literally said shower double.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was she how old was she in the movie? Is that maybe why?
Maybe
or...
it could have been.
Yeah.
Or maybe she was just like, I'm not showing my body. Because it is like when I was watching it yesterday, because there's so many times I've seen it when I catch it on TV.
Oh, yeah.
So and it's not, you don't see that. Like you see her face maybe, or you just see them talking about her. And obviously you don't see the whole thing. It's a little like, I'm like, whoa. I mean, it's a full body shot. I mean, we're only seeing like a cheek and boobs, but she does do like this thing where she's like moving a little bit where it could almost be a full frontal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I could see maybe the actress was like, I don't want to do that. But most people probably, and I don't know if she was, I'm gonna have to look, like watch the movie, just watch the credits, because I'm like, she had.
Oh, you want to see if it's on there?
Yeah, but I guess if she was on the cast list, I feel like they probably then did put her as on the
credits.
Yeah. Because it would have been interesting if they didn't. So another kind of a fun fact, that's a bathroom scene.
Okay.
Can you think of another bathroom scene in the movie?
Yes.
Which one are you thinking of?
They get her panties.
Yes.
And the kids pay to see
$1.
Yeah, $1.
To see her underpants. Yep. Gave her underpants to a nerd.
Yeah.
So that was shot. It was not a soundstage. It was in a middle school in the suburb of Chicago. And this YouTuber that I watched yesterday, he was the one that was doing a tour, and he went to her house, and he was just doing the outside, and he was kind of just doing the outside of everything.
Okay.
Well, he was doing the outside of this middle school and was saying how that panty scene was filmed in this bathroom in this middle school, and there was a woman that was working at the school and was like, hey, what you doing? And then he said, and so she's like, oh, well, come on in.
Okay.
And he went in and saw the bathroom.
Yes.
And he filmed it. It looks exactly the same. He filmed it like literally from like if
you were looking.
Yeah. And you were like, it had the one stall that he comes out of. I feel like the stall was still the same color. The tiles were definitely the same. And he said how small it was, and he couldn't believe how they were able to.
The kids got all those kids got in there.
Yes, and for them all to be like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, how'd they find that one bathroom?
Right. And when you actually start thinking about it, why would the kids, because I feel like this is a bathroom for probably like teachers.
Oh.
Don't you think? A one stall bathroom?
Well, you would think in a school.
Like I don't think that would have
than right.
Yeah, it has like a urinal there too, and I don't know if that was there in the movie.
Okay.
But it had like the one stall and then a urinal next to it. But I'm like, would that have been bathroom at the school that the kids would have been.
Use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that until like where they're trying to get all those kids in there.
No.
So yeah, I was like, yeah. It was like I said, my doing this research last night was very fun.
Yeah,
like it really wasn't.
It wasn't a boring research.
No, it was very interesting. Yeah. And I watched the movie over and
got to laugh
at all those funny scenes. Yeah. And did you? Maybe I saw this before, but did you ever notice when they're at dinner and they're having quiche and they're all well, it's not our first introduction.
No.
But it's like kind of like the family introduction of Long Duck Dong.
Yeah.
Do you see how he's eating the quiche?
With chopsticks?
It's not chopsticks.
What is it?
It's a fork, and I don't know if it's a fork and a spoon, but he's using them as chopsticks.
No, I knew he was doing like chopsticks. Okay. I never noticed that.
And I don't know if I have ever noticed, but I saw it last night and I busted out laughing. I was like,
oh, that's funny.
Yes. Because I said it to Tim and he's like, what? And I was like, yes, he's like going, because we were eating supper. And I was like, he's doing this. And he, and like I said, I don't know if it was a fork or a knife, but it was
utensils. Yeah. He was using them as chopsticks.
Yes.
And his hair's all slicked.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite parts.
It is
that dinner scene.
It is so good.
I mean,
I love even how the filming, like the camera, when it's supposed to be his like view.
Yes, of them. Yeah,
of them all just like
looking at him,
and they're just all leaning in at him.
Oh my gosh.
And it's interesting how you fit this in round pie. It's a quiche.
Well, how do you spell it?
And the fact that they were eating quiche.
I know.
Who eats quiche?
Well, yeah, and it wasn't, there was a lot of people there. One quiche was not going to feed them all.
No, that was a lot of people. It was
and Grandpa Fred,
people.
He just, the way he laughs at him. And,
I know.
And then the other Grandma Baker's
She's
like, don't
mad.
Fred,
Yes.
He helps with the yard work, you betcha.
He mows the
lawn. So Grandpa's hyena,
yes,
or hernia, as it should be,
yes,
doesn't get disturbed.
Right.
Oh yeah, that and there's just so many.
Yes,
so many.
And it's funny that we never noticed. Like again, we've seen that movie so many times, and then like I said, I don't know if I've ever noticed that he was using those.
No, I never noticed that.
Because most of the time I'm like looking at faces.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. And Ginny's fiance was also in Breakfast Club.
Oh, yes, he was. And we talked about that in the Breakfast Club episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this movie.
He's the oily bohunk.
Yes. He's marrying Ginny.
Yeah.
And he has loved her for a whole 6 months. She's been loved by men before, but not 6 months in a row. So of course she's gonna marry.
She's gonna marry him.
Yeah.
How old is she supposed to be in the movie? I guess I don't know. I know she's the older sister, but
right. I feel like
I don't know.
She's supposed to be like. I feel like young, like 21, 22.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she's not very old. Because she's trying to act mature,
right?
Like when they're in that bedroom scene, and she's walking, and she's in that little skimpy, like I don't even know the hell that
shorts
is.
And a tank top,
yes.
But like silky,
yes. And she had like little high heel thingies on, and she's like doing her hair and her makeup and putting perfume on.
Yep.
And
doesn't she call Sam an asshole?
Yeah,
you're a complete asshole.
You're being an asshole.
Yeah,
and she thinks she's jealous.
Yes,
because she's getting all of the attention.
Yes, but
and
really,
Samantha's like, yes, that's it.
Yep.
And we didn't, when I was doing the synopsis, we didn't really even say. I mean, I feel like if you have never seen 16 Candles,
oh gosh,
that would be crazy to me.
It would be.
But
unless you're younger, like young and
right. But we didn't even say like what the actual synopsis of the movie was when I was talking about the beginning, because I think I just kind of assume everyone knows.
Yeah. Right.
But basically, the movie is about Samantha, who, when we first meet her, it's the morning of her 16th birthday, and her entire family forgets.
Yes.
And then there's just like, it's only like a day or 2 days, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
That we're seeing in the movie.
Yep.
Even though it seems like it would be like
right
more,
forever.
but it's not.
But it's not. It's just 2
literally
days.
2 days. But yeah, and so that's why she's a little upset, and she wanted to talk to her sister, her older sister, about Jake Ryan, that she, but she got upset with her because Samantha's like, well, I don't know if he knows that I exist. And she's all like, I don't have time for this.
And don't you find it interesting that they didn't have like a rehearsal? They went out and ate. The parents,
just the parents and the bride and groom. Yeah, they didn't have
rice checks.
The rice checks. Yeah. And they do shots.
Yes. And the mom hits her.
Yes.
Snorts or whatever.
Yes. And is like, do you do shot or the Rudy, the husband to be, is all like, do you do shots? Wolf it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she does. She's all like,
she's in
her lipstick is all. And even at the wedding, she has those big lips and all that lipstick on, and she kisses the minister.
Yep.
And the minister is Bill Murray's brother. Yeah.
Yep.
Brian Doyle.
Yep.
Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah.
Talking about the church, just because I'm thinking about like the her kissing the minister. This is another fun fact I learned last night. So, so when she finally comes out after she took her 4 like muscle relaxers and the dad's trying to get her to go down the aisle, and she's like messing with people as she goes down.
Hat.
Yes. Do you remember there's another lady with a hat that she sits next to, and she's all like, I gotta rest.
Yeah.
I gotta rest. That woman is John and Jim Belushi's mother.
Really?
Yeah. Agnes Belushi. And she's not, I read that she's not credited in the movie. But maybe they're friends. She was friends with John Hughes or something like that. And
I would never know. Yeah, I would never know.
No idea.
That, no.
Like, I'm like watching all those people that she's like, because when that one lady, she's like, love the teapot.
Yes.
Like, it's just so many
I know
freaking lines that are so funny. And that's why I'm like, how did he write that in a freaking weekend?
When she gets her veil, like, it's in her mouth.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I can't see through this thing. Or when so back up, like rewind. And we find out, so we know she has her monthly bill.
Yes.
Is what the mom says, church lady. And then that's when she says that she has taken 4 muscle relaxers. And then we see how she's like totally out of it.
Yes.
And then
doesn't she say, you didn't? And she goes, mother.
Yes.
Mother, please. Or something like that.
Yes. Because she's like, her monthly bill came a little early, but she's taken a muscle relaxer. And then she's like, try 4.
Yeah.
You didn't, mother.
Yep.
And I love too.
And doesn't she fall?
Yes.
And the dad comes running.
Yes. And then you hear in the church.
In the room.
Where they show the people, and he's all like, what the hell? What the hell? Or whatever. And she's like, well, we don't want to let everyone know that she has her period. And that's when
he
Rudy.
goes, and then doesn't he go, something about interesting honeymoon or something like that. He told the priest or whatever.
Something about getting married. Well, I wouldn't want to be the one getting married, padre, or something like that.
Padre. Yes.
And it's like, wait, and the minister is like, what? Like, you're the one getting married.
Right.
The stars are Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall, I said that last time too. Michael Hall, Michael Schofling,
Right,
those are kind of your main people.
Yep.
But everybody has.
Oh yeah, everybody has something.
It's so iconic and so good.
Yeah.
I mean, talking just about the wedding, like when they're going outside and they're throwing the rice and stuff.
Oh, she's trying to grab it or she's trying to eat it.
She's like jumping.
Yeah.
I mean, just like shit like that. How fun would that have been to be in?
I know.
And then when she's taking off stuff. She took off like, the stuff in the
in the limo.
Yes. And then she gets in the front.
Puts on the hat, the driver's hat. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That movie, yeah.
It's just so good.
I mean, one of my favorite parts is, when they call the cops because Long Duck Dong is missing.
Yes. Grandpa calls the cops the next day. So the morning of the wedding.
Yes.
Because he got to go to the dance with Samantha.
And then he went to the party.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With his new style American girlfriend.
With his girlfriend
and then he didn't come home.
He didn't come home. Well, he did, but he was laying
My thing is like, okay, how long has he been in this country and he was able to drive?
I know.
He had a driver's license?
Yeah.
Or even if he didn't, like if you're like, well, it's fine or whatever, but you're not even from there.
Right.
And you're just
you
letting him drive.
Right.
I mean, at least Samantha got her ride home before anything happened. But.
And I like your face when they're eating and she says, I'm being graded on it. And then they said,
to go to the dance.
to go to the dance.
Yes.
And then the grandma's like, I have a good idea.
And then doesn't even say, just turns to him.
Yeah.
Would you like to go to the dance with Samantha?
Yeah. And her eyes are like, oh.
Yeah.
And they play some kind of music or
Yes. And then at the dance, I mean, we're kind of going in and out of order, but that's okay. The dance is another like hilarious, iconic stuff where, and I do have to laugh. Okay, I did think about this when I was watching this about when we a few episodes back and we were talking about that after school special and you were like, I think this is really about stalking.
Yes.
When you think about it, it's kind of like, not even like going from the dance. This would have been like right at the beginning of the movie.
On the bus.
Well,
before the bus.
Well, before the bus, when she's taking that sex ed test, or it's not, it's a quiz a friend gave her or whatever.
Gave it to her,
And then Jake Ryan
yes. Because she dropped it on the floor.
Yes, and her friend is sleeping.
Yep.
So he grabs it, whatever. Well, he tells his friend when they're like fake chin pulling, or doing pull-ups. He's like, says how he catches seeing her look at him, in Independent Study.
Yeah.
And how it's cool. And it's like, is it? Because then every time, any interaction until at the end, she's like, looks at him, then like runs.
Turns away. Yep.
And it is almost like stalking. Yeah. And then she kind of has a stalker.
Right, yeah.
With Farmer Ted.
Yeah. That's why I was getting at the bus. When, when he's... And another favorite part of mine, they're on the bus and he's telling her all this stuff. He's like...
Yes.
And Joan Cusack is next.
Just sitting there.
And she gets off the bus and Farmer Ted starts talking and she's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Or something like that. She's just the way her body like nods and it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Like she's like, I'm watching all of this and I can
I know
that
I know that you have no chance with her.
Right.
And another part at the dance when she's got the sweatshirt on and it's got a girl with
Joan Cusack,
and she's got that skirt and she gets
the shirt has a little person.
Has a person with a skirt that's like, it's like a handkerchief. You know what I mean? It looks like a handkerchief or whatever.
Yes.
And she gets a drink and she's got that brace on.
Yes.
And she can't quite get it.
Well, she goes to two
water fountains.
Yes, because they're next to each other and they're different heights.
Yes.
And one wouldn't come
out. And the other one shoots way over on her face.
Yes.
And she takes that little dress from her shirt and wipes her mouth with it.
Yes.
Yeah, there are just so many.
I know. There's and again, that's Joan Cusack who barely has any lines. But like, I
don't even know. Does she?
They didn't even have to show that. No. Like that didn't even need to be in the movie. But it's funny, perfect, and we're talking about it because it's like something you remember.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she did say hardly anything.
No, I think it's really what she says on the bus.
And it wasn't really. She's like, yeah.
And then she says like a little thing when she wipes her face. Like she's all like,
yeah.
You know, I think it's the same thing,
right?
Maybe.
And then she's and then
I think that's
then
it.
she dances. That's it.
Yeah,
and she doesn't say anything when she's dancing.
No.
Well, if you haven't seen the movie, watch it. That's all we're gonna say.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen it for a long time, watch it.
Yeah, because it's just so
good.
Yeah.
I could watch it every time it's on.
I know. I feel like I do. And then, like I said, I went and found it.
Yeah.
It was on Prime. I was able to watch it. So I have a couple other little tidbits for you. The next time you watch it, look at Jake Ryan's Porsche, his license plate.
Okay.
There's a little Easter egg in there.
Oh.
It reads 21850, and that seems like a random number, right? But it's actually John Hughes's birthday. Yeah, he was born February 18th, 1950.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of fun, like something just to throw in there again, you know. And I guess I'm sure people who are like huge John Hughes fans probably saw it. They saw it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that though. We didn't even talk about so the party and with Farmer Ted driving the dad's car.
Yeah.
And how he's all like,
they had the phone. She answers the phone.
Yes.
It rings.
Yes. Well, and my favorite is even prior to them, getting in the car, and they're Jake and Farmer Ted are in the kitchen of his house because Jake finds him. He thinks everybody's gone.
Right.
And he comes in, he goes to like grab a beer off of the
coffee table.
Yeah, and he sees an eye.
Yep. And he's inside the coffee table.
Yes. Yeah. So then they have this whole talk in the kitchen, and they're drinking martinis. Farmer Ted makes them a martini. Because there was a part where he hands Jake Ryan a napkin. Yeah. And Jake looks at it and throws it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just like little funny things like that I giggle at. But it's just so funny how they're trying to be so adult. Yeah.
I was going to say that, yeah.
And that's when Jake Ryan finds out that Samantha
likes him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That really likes him. Because he did know a little bit from Farmer Ted at the gym, at the dance. Right. Because that's when he goes and he calls. And the grandparents are like, yeah. And they're like, we will not have a foul mouth.
Yeah,
something like you. I hope our granddaughter doesn't want to talk to you or whatever like that. Yeah. What does he want? Sex.
Yep.
But yeah, so and then he's like, well, I'll have you drive, Carolyn home. And he's like, I don't have a car.
Yeah.
I don't have a license.
Nope.
And then he's like, you can drive my car.
Yeah.
And then when they go out to the garage, he's like, is this your car? He's like, well, this is my dad's car. And he's like, this is a freaking Rolls Royce.
Yes, wasn't it brown?
Yeah, like a brown tanny type color.
Ugly.
Yeah, it was not very.
No.
And it was like, it's so big.
I know.
Like, huge. Yeah. And do you ever notice, okay, so fast forwarding, like they drive, whatever, and the morning that they're in the parking lot, do you notice that he has bird shit in his hair?
No.
And on his shoulder?
No?
Yes.
Oh my God, no. I'll have to watch for that.
Yes. Because I've seen this before where I was like, what is in his hair? Because it's like right here.
Yuck.
And I was like, why does he have white in his hair? I always crack up though too that he has his mouth guard.
Yes.
What does he call it? What do you call it?
Headgear
in, Mom.
Yep, because she's slapping him and he's like, Mom, I have my headgear on.
Yeah.
It's not even his mom.
No. But the fact that he has that.
I know.
And because then she's like, I'll tell you where you are
if
you tell me who you are. And he's taking it off. He's like, I'm Farmer Ted.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh. And I love, she has a great line too in that scene where she's like, I've never dated a freshman, even when I was a freshman.
Yes.
So, okay, really quick, here's some other tidbit. So, even though when John Hughes was actually, he saw he got some headshots or whatever of actresses, like teenage actresses, and he saw Molly Ringwald, and he actually was like, had her in mind when he wrote this in that weekend. But I guess he was also kind of struck by two other actresses. One would have then goes to be in The Breakfast Club, which she was in or Ally Sheedy. And then Robin Wright Penn was another one. Oh. Yeah. And then another thing I had to tell you is, did you know that the birthday cake at the end is cardboard?
No.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
There was a deleted cafeteria scene, and sometimes when you watch it on TV, they actually have this in the movie when she eats a burger. Or she doesn't actually eat it, but she's getting the burger. And that's because her mom forgot her carrots. Yeah. But it's not in the original. They cut it.
Oh, okay.
But for some reason, it's in
and sometimes it's in it.
Yeah. If you look it up on YouTube, you can watch the deleted scene, and in the corner it says like Superstation. I feel like that was TBS.
Oh, yes. I think it was. Yep, I think so.
Because Tim was like, well, this had to have been on TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think they put it in.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, that is one of our all-time
favorites.
All-time faves.
Yep.
Thanks for getting my undies back.
Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for coming to get me.
Happy birthday, Samantha. Make a wish.
It already came true.
Well, if you guys have any lines from the movie, let us know what's your favorite or a favorite part of the movie. And yeah, like Lana said, if you have not seen this movie, go see it.
Well, don't go see it. You can watch it.
You can just sit in your pajamas.
It won't be in the movie theater.
No, unless someone's doing some kind of throwback.
Right.
Thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks, Lana.
Thanks for listening.
Just like the rain.